Hello there everyone, Shibby here. Hope everyone out there's doing well and taking back once again with some more Pokemon trading card game pocket ranked matches. In today's video, I'm going to be continuing along with my Eeveelution challenge series where I try to build a deck around each of the Eeveelutions. And this one's going to be pretty simple. I've made my way to Leafeon, so I'm going to try out an all Leafeon deck in ranked and see if we can manage to string some wins together with it. That's really simple. Our only Pokemon are Leafeon EX and the normal Leafeon as well as the Eevee, just so we can evolve into our Leafeons respectively, but I will have the more in-depth deck list and description of it below. So you want to try this deck out for yourself or simply improve upon it. There's really not much to it. We just got some grass items like Leaf Cape and Erica to help keep our Leafeon alive for longer, and some Eevee bags to help us do more damage and heal further. So hopefully this will perform well, and we'll see what kind of damage we can do when we actually get in the ring with it. But I will go over my game plan for this deck, which is pretty straightforward when we actually get in some games. But yeah, that's enough of me rambling, and let's go find our first match. Alrighty, looks like I found my first opponent here. We are unfortunately going first, but that's okay. Not really too bad of a deal breaker with this deck since both Leafeons don't really take too much to get going here. But that also depends on what we're going up against. See what we're facing if they decide to play something. All right, we're going to play around Oricorio here, which does kind of suck, so we're going to have to kind of open up with our other Leafeon and non-EX version. All right, well, I can literally do nothing here. But like I mentioned before, the game plan for this deck is pretty simple. Basically, we're going to use our Leafeon EX, which has the ability to add grass energy to our Pokemon when it's in the active position. We're going to try to do that and stack that into our normal Leafeon, which does additional damage for each leaf energy we have into it. So for example, it does 10, but for each additional grass energy we have into it, it'll do 20 more. So really just the hope is to get this built up. But Oricorio does complicate things because we can't really afford to put our Leafeon EX in the active spot because we can't do any damage to Oricorio. So we're just going to have to slowly but surely chip away at it. But each turn we can kind of do a little more damage to it as we go along. And the good thing about running a non-EX card in this deck is we can play around things like Oricorio. So that Raichu is a direct counter to this because it will do damage for each energy we have in Leafeon. So we need to try to make sure that doesn't come into play. But we're going to get popped for 50 here, and they're going to heal what we've done to Oricorio as well. But that's okay, we're going to do the damage they did to us with Erica, so that's alright. Alright, we'll just keep feeding this bad boy. We'll play our Erica. And hopefully draw into one of our other Eevees so we can start building up our bench. We're going to pop Oricorio for 50. And really, we just need to get that Raichu out of play, honestly. And they've got their electrical cord. So, if we KO this Oricorio, they're going to be able to transfer that energy into the back row. And the game is just not going to give me another Eevee, it looks like. All right, we'll go ahead and take care of this Oricorio. Now, Raichu can't attack me next turn. Well, I take that back. Yes, it absolutely can. I miscounted here. All right, I guess a smarter person would not have attacked there. I just wasn't thinking. I don't know why I thought that Raichu would be able to attack. Of course, with the electrical cord, they were going to put energy into Raichu here. So that was a horrible misplay right out of the gate. Because we will not survive this hit. Yeah, I should have waited and tried to delay and probably used that Eevee bag to heal Leafeon. But unfortunately, that's not what I did because I'm a very stupid person. Alright, well, hopefully I can play smarter in the next match we find. But a good game to the opponent. I'll back when I find my next gag. Alrighty, looks like I found my next opponent here. And we do have the good fortune of going second. So let's see if we get a little bit of an opening start than we did in the last game. We did not. Okay. But another Oricorio, of course. Let's see if I can play around me, not necessarily around my opponent. Not make bad decisions. But let's get all the stupid nonsense out early. so that I can be a little bit more competent later on. All right, we do luck into an oak this go around though. And we get a Pokeball, so we can at least get another Eevee and have a little more security on our bench here. All right, we get an Eevee EX. Let's get it on the bench. And use this Eevee to draw another card. And it gives us an Erica, so we got 2 Ericas in our hand so we can heal. And we also have an Eevee bag, so we can either heal or do extra damage. Back-to-back lightning decks. I got back-to-back Oricorios as well. All right, thankfully they can't attack us here. We do thankfully get another Eevee as well, so we can kind of get our bench built up back here. All right, so we're going to play our normal Leafeon here and get our Leafeon EX on the bench. I wish that effect worked on the bench, but they have to be in the active spot for us to add any energy to our Pokemon. But we'll live with this. Get a cape into our Leafeon so it can live a little longer. I could use an Eevee bag, but it'll only do 60, so we actually can't one-shot the Oricorio. The next turn, we can get rid of this one. Now we'll see if they opt to put energy into this one or swap. They're playing Tapu Koko as well. Right, they're going to play a potion, but we still do KO the Oricorio unless they got something else. All right, thankfully they get a Tails. And they've already committed the energy to Oricorio, so we will live with that. And we get another Leafeon, so let's go ahead and get this one built up as well. Get her. I guess we'll just go ahead and stack this one up since it's in the active spot. We'll do undo the damage they did with Erica here. And we'll take this one out and do 70 to it. Now we can one-shot the other Oricorio, depending on if that's what they want to bring in. We can also two-shot this Tapu Koko and it can't KO me because it's a Mach Bolt only does 90 and we can heal with Erica one more time. Okay, let's see what they have to bring in here. Probably their other Tapu Koko, I'd imagine. Unless they're running something additional. Okay. They are running something additional here. Alrighty then. All right, we get another Leaf Cape. Let's go ahead and put this one into our Leafeon on the bench here. And we'll stack up this Leafeon. And how much damage are we doing? 90. Okay, do I want to beef that up to 100 or do I want to heal? No, a Giovanni one-shots me here. If they have that, we'll just roll with it though. So yes, a Giovanni will screw me here. We can still one-shot the Tapu Koko. So, unless... Oh, they've already played a trainer card, so they can't actually KO me here. And they conceded, okay. We played a little bit smarter that time and actually we didn't make any mistakes that killed me immediately. And we were lucky or fortunate we were able to play around Oricorio with our normal Leafeon here. But good games to that opponent. I'll be back when I find my next match. Alrighty, let's go find my next opponent here. Alright, we're having to go first once again, which does suck, but it's not, again, a world ender with this deck, but it kind of is when you don't have any other basics or evolutions in your hand, so this might be a rough one. Got 2 Eevee bags, a Leaf Cape, and an Erica, but no way to draw more cards, and no way to evolve or anything. Alright, we draw Cyrus, which is just not helpful, and that's all we can do. We do have the type advantage when we get to evolve into our Leafeon, but they have the type advantage on me right now. Playing fighting or earth or ground, whatever you want to call it. All right. Well, we do get a Pokeball out of that, so not the worst thing in the world. They are running Darkrai on top of this as well, so that does complicate things a little bit. And they're going to opt to build the Darkrai over then putting energy into the Larvitar. All right, we got our Cyrus back. All right, here's to hoping I see a Leafeon here soon, or else it's going to get really ugly really fast. I could force... Would it be smart to force in Darkrai? Maybe? I was leaving Larvitar, and I can't guarantee I'll be able to do anything by switching it in. And they're going to get their Tyranitar. And they can move all their energy up front to Tyranitar if we don't get rid of it. I really need a Leafeon. And I got one. Okay. Now they can't get Tyranitar out, which is a plus. And next turn we can get rid of it. Though the flip side of that is Darkrai will one-shot me most assuredly, since they can chip away at me. Alright, well, we get another Eevee. Alright, we're kind of put in a bad position here. Alright, what I'm going to do... We're going to heal our Leafeon. And the question kind of becomes, do I KO Tyranitar and get poisoned, or do I do damage to the Darkrai back there? I think I'm going to lose Leafeon kind of no matter what here. Let me make sure I one shot. Okay, yeah, we do one shot Tyranitar. So we'll go ahead and get that Eevee going. We'll sacrifice the Leafeon for Tyranitar. Alright, now we really need our Leafeon EX. I mean, thankfully we only lose 1 point for this. But again, this could go south very quickly if we don't get our Leafeon back. Alright, we lose 1. Bring in our Eevee here. Alright, we do get our Leafeon EX, which is nice. I almost set that on the wrong one. Alright, let's get it evolved. And now my question is, should I swap in that Larvitar and KO it? Or just deal with Darkrai? We'll just deal with Darkrai for right now, because Darkrai gives us 2 points. And if it runs, I can retreat. Or grab it, or if it retreats, I can grab it back in with Cyrus. And it cannot one-shot me. Well, I guess depending on how much damage Tyranitar is 130. Alright, we're screwed here. Well, never mind, it has to retreat. So it loses 2 energy. So yeah, but we actually win here. Alright, we get another Leafeon. We'll put it on the field. But we're not going to drag this out. We're going to Cyrus in the Darkrai. And they conceded as we tagged it in. Alright, well, we managed to somehow pull that one out. That kind of looked like it was going to go south on me pretty quickly when they got that Tyranitar evolved. But thankfully we were able to get lucky there at the end where they couldn't actually attack or do any damage with it. All right, I will go find one more match, see if we can get this deck to a 3-1 after a not so stellar start. All right, good game to that opponent. I'll be back when I find one more match. Alrighty, looks like I found my final opponent here. I'm ready to go first once again, which sucks. The 4 duels we played, we've gone first 3 times. Right, now we got 2 Leafeon EXs in hand, so that's not too bad. Unless we're going to unless we run into another Oricorio, then that is trouble. So we are going to need our other Leafeon definitely at some point, and another Eevee to go with it. But alright, what are we going up against? What you going to play for me, bud? Are you going to play anything at all? That's the real question. Alright. Articuno. Okay, that's a card I haven't seen in a while. Alright. Now, hopefully, we don't get mistied to death right out of the gate. That would be bad. Alright, we get an Eevee bag and another Oak. And that's all I can do. Alright, what's your move? And there's the Misty. Of course, they hit on it. Alright, well, we're going to hit for 40 immediately. And next turn, they're going to do 80 on top of that. This is a really, really bad start. Since we're going to need one more turn to get our Leafeon going. Alright, we'll see if we can play from behind here. We get an Eevee up on the bench. I'll put a grass energy into this one. We'll evolve it into Leafeon. We'll use Forest Breath. Attach it to our Leafeon. Now we are going to get popped for 80, unfortunately. But we do have a Leaf Cape here, so we can give ourselves a little bit more wiggle room. And let's oak it up here. Get an Eevee bag and another Eevee. So we can potentially do some real damage or some real healing, which is more than likely what we'll have to do here. And win our turn. I would like to see either a normal Leafeon or Erica next turn. That would make my life a little bit easier. We do have to hit this Articuno 3 times. And everyone else gets hits for 10. Gets hit for 10 on top of that. All right, we get a Leafeon here. That's what I like to see. Put that Leafeon up. Get an energy into this Leafeon. And I need to play both of these Eevee bags to heal. So we can, at the very least, survive one more turn with this Leafeon. And we'll use Force Breath, put an energy into this Leafeon here. And we'll attack for 70. Now, unless they have a red or a Giovanni, we survive this with 10 health. Alright, they heal the Articuno. Which does unfortunately complicate things a little bit, and it's pretty much just back to full health. Which does suck. I wonder if they're running just Articuno and then a bunch of healing items. Alright, we get Erica. But using it doesn't particularly help this Leafeon. Alright, so what I want to do is we're going to keep stacking this one up. And then I think I'm just going to swing with this Leafeon here. Now we will be conceding the 2 points, which may not be smart. But it gets killed on the bench anyway, so there's that as well. All right, it's going to Cyrus in our other Leafeon, which does suck. And we just straight up lose because of the damage effect of Articuno. That's very unfortunate. All right, looks like we're going to drop this last game here and go 2-2 for the video, which is not horrible. All the matches were close. We could have probably ended up in the positive had I not horribly messed up the first duel. But either way, good game to that opponent and all the people I played today. If you made this far in the video, do thank you for watching. Like, subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.